So I thought I might talk a little bit about Mayborn, like the autumn equinox that's coming up. Um, and one of the things that I've been trying to do is incorporate more Australian stuff in my practice. So I like to go for a walk and really observe what's going on in my local environment and to incorporate that into my practice. So if you look at my Book of Shadows or grimoire, I have like lists of things that I see in the environment around me when it comes to the seasons. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and Mayborn's a tough one because it tends to be more introduced species that you notice the changes with and the shift in season. It's not the native plants or wildlife. I've noticed that there's been a few more butterflies out and dragonflies and cabbage moths, and maybe that's a sign of the autumn equinox, which has been really cool. And like, I'm a wildlife carer, so you know, there hasn't really been a change in the number of species coming through since spring. Like, I'm only on the bottom tier, like I'm a novice, so the only species I get to look after are paddywmelons, wallabies and brush-tailed possums. But they're still coming through, they're still small. I have a few in care at the moment, so again, not really those kind of species are popping out to me as standing out. The only deciduous tree that's native in Tasmania is the Nothofagus gunni, and for me that is a symbol of Samhain. It certainly has much more greater colour change when it's the end of April, and that's when the local pagan alliance does their walk through the Nothofagus gunni to see the colours. And so yeah, for me that's a symbol of Samhain. So when I was doing my walk today, there was very, very, very few native stuff that I could really identify as being a symbol for autumn equinox or the autumn period. I think it's sort of more that the flowers are starting to die and starting to shrivel. Like, there was a little bit of wattle, but again, there wasn't much, and it was only one species. There were a few, now I think they might be eucalypts, I'll have to look them up. And I don't think they're native to Tasmania because I don't remember studying them during my botany study. They have quite a lot of flowers on them, and quite new flowers. So, and they're in my local area, like someone's planted them. So that could be a really good symbol for me to represent the change in seasons to autumn. Of course, like, there were like the pine trees with the green pine cones, and I actually collected a few and brought home so I could have them on my altar. There are acorns. Oh, there's one of the butterflies. Again, another introduced species. They're not a native butterfly, but they're around at autumn. Oh yeah, acorns. The acorns are all starting to come out. There are a few bottle brushes, but again, they're starting to die off, and I sort of see bottle brush more as a symbol for Litha, actually. So you see a lot more at the summer solstice than there are now. And Lunasad, there were quite a lot around for Lunasad as well. There's so I live in an area that has a lot of apple orchards, and the apple trees are just bursting. Like, there are new season apples out, which is great because like apples and, you know, pagan practice seem to go hand in hand. And the blackberries, like, for me blackberries are a real symbol of the first harvest for Lunasad. So but there are so many on the trees. You know, like, blackberries are a huge part of my symbolism for Lunasad. So I'll show you my tattoo if I can. I've got the blackberries on my arm. So you know, this is part of the second harvest, and they'll probably still be around until maybe May. Like, there's still some red berries on the tree. So maybe not May, maybe April. Maybe there might be a couple left by the time we get to Samhain. There are a lot of hawthorn bushes around, so a lot of them have the berries coming out on them at the moment, and so that could be a really good part of my symbolism as well. There was a few I think it's mistletoe, and they've got like the berries going yellow, so they'll be red in no time. Some of them have a little bit of a red tinge to them, and a few weeks ago they were green, so you can really see the change with those. Other than that, yeah, it was really, really disappointing. A lot of oak trees, of course, their leaves are only just starting to turn, but like a lot of the other Australian YouTubers have been reporting, it's been a weird autumn. It's been warm. It's actually, we're still getting 30-degree days, which I love because I'm a summer child. I adore the sun, and I adore the warmth. So I'm actually already mourning that autumn is coming, because well, it's pretty much, it's starting, it's almost here. I have to show you the rest of my tattoo. Let's see. So mine is I'm a black cat fiend, of course. And look at the top, I've got the green. I know it specifically asked for that. He originally had cherry trees, which again is part of my summer symbolism, but I really wanted the green. I'm so glad he listened to me. There's the cat, and again the blackberries. So yeah, favourite season, summer, favourite festival, Lunarside. Alright, thanks so much for watching this very haphazard video, and we'll talk later.